While McLaren's investigation has officially concluded, it remains the hot topic surrounding their team going into this weekend. And team boss Zak Brown has issued a statement after McLaren's investigation has concluded for the first time. Zak Brown admits that the whole outcome of this case has completely shocked him and caught him unaware with what has been found. Zak firstly cannot believe that somebody has gone ahead and taken the CCTV footage down from the McLaren garage throughout the final parts of the Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. And this is something that Zak has said that he wants to get back immediately and find out everybody that was involved in this situation. One of them, as we know, would be Mark Davis. Now, those responsible will be sacked and also face legal action, Zak has said, after this case has come to its conclusion. So while the case with regards to is Sam guilty or not of any wrongdoing against Mark Davis has been concluded, that doesn't mean that their case is technically all but closed. What it's effectively done is closed one door and opened a brand new door. Speaking of Sam being not guilty, Zak was asked in the Thursday press conference if he'd had the opportunity to speak to Sam after the investigation had closed. And according to Zak Brown, he has yet to actually speak to Sam as of yet. Of course, Zak Brown said that Sam was not welcome back at McLaren ever, and he'd actually put a ban on Sam coming into the factory. Well, I think he may want to reverse that, as obviously this is something that he is going to have to apologise for, especially towards Sam, who's been hit hard by all of this. Taking a look at the race news heading into this weekend, it is Ferrari and Red Bull that were fastest in practice going into the Austrian Grand Prix, a key weekend as well for Red Bull being their home Grand Prix. As for Audi, the team that dominated last weekend in Spain, they've got some problems coming into the Austrian Grand Prix weekend as a major understeer problems in Sector 2 are costing Audi a lot of lap time. They can try and dial this out, but they say it's affecting them in other areas of the circuit, and it's something that they still can't quite get an understanding of. Jaguar are expecting a better weekend compared to last weekend in Barcelona. The Austrian Grand Prix circuit definitely suits the car a lot more, with 3 very long straights and a lot less corners, and this is something that is putting Jaguar into some good contention. Tom is putting pressure on the front runners heading into the weekend. Of course, Aston Martin have had a very tricky past few race weekends, but this track in particular is one that Tom definitely goes quick at, and he is looking to try and put on the pressure against Ferrari and Red Bull. And finally, McLaren are aiming to beat Porsche going into this weekend. The two teams looking very close in terms of overall race performance and also in qualifying simulations, so it seems that those two are going to be locked in a battle going into this race. But let's get straight into qualifying and the Grand Prix for the Austrian Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on guys, it is Foxydude here and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of the F1 journey for you guys today here on the channel. We are back here for round number 12 of the season. This is the Austrian Grand Prix, and let's get cracking with this race weekend. But as per usual, if you guys end up enjoying today's video, feel free to drop it a like. That would really go a long way for me. And what would also go a long way is if you do enjoy the content you see here on the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button so you never miss a video of mine and help continue to support this channel. So as you can see then, we set our first flying lap here, which got us P6 on the grid. But of course, our first flying lap that we always set in qualifying is with hot lap ERS mode only. We do not use the overtake on the battery, so there's obviously a lot more time for us to find when we go ahead and set our next 2 laps. And you can already see that we're half a second up on our best lap. So we've got a lot of performance in the car. We just need to go ahead and utilize it. So going through towards turn 4, we get a great exit there and gain about 0.3 of a second compared to my previous best lap. But now these corners here on the track are probably the most important ones, and we're over a second up now on our flying lap from previously of a 1 minute 2.4. So at the moment we're looking to get into the 1 minute 1s and hopefully try and get into the low 1 minute 1s here. We've got one driver coming into the pits, that's my teammate Piastri, but they're not going to be a problem. Round the final corner we go now for this lap here. It's going to be a 1 second improvement to set a 101.420, which puts us P3 and definitely in the ballpark going into this weekend compared to some other qualifying sessions. Now going into our final flying lap here, we had to get on with it a little bit because there was a Jaguar car behind me, and I kind of had flashbacks to Hamilton in Barcelona where it got in the way. We're currently P9 at the moment, so we've dropped down a few places, so now we need to go ahead and try and set a best lap possible. We go a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1 there, but we're pretty much just ahead of our flying lap here. We're actually gaining some time now as I've deployed a bit more of the battery on this straight compared to my last lap here. Braking at the 100-meter board, down in towards the hairpin, and now we try and get the best exit possible, and we're already 3/10 up now on our previous flying lap here. So far, so good here. So we make our way now down in towards turn 4, and this is a critical braking zone where we got quite well last time around, and this time we lost a little bit of time on the entry, but we gained the time back on the exit, so no real problems there as Lando Norris now goes fastest with a 1 minute 1.1. So we need to try and aim for that one a little bit wide there through the left-hander, but then able to get a better apex then through the right-hander. We're 3 and a bit tenths up on our previous best lap. We've lost quite a lot of battery throughout the course of the lap. We've deployed it in some other areas, so we're going to lose a little bit of time here down the straight, but coming towards the final part of the line, decent lap that. It's race day here for the Austrian Grand Prix, so let's have a look at the grid then and see where everyone's going to line up. Sam starts on pole position for Ferrari with a 1 minute 1.160 ahead of Vettel, who lines up P2, just 2/100ths of a second shy of pole. It's then myself in P3, half a tenth off of pole position, with Lando Norris and Reese qualifying in 4th and 5th, both of them 6/100ths and just under 7/100ths shy of pole. George Russell is 6th then for the lead McLaren driver, a 10th off of pole, with Charles Leclerc lining up in P7, also a 10th off the pace. Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz seem to like qualifying next to each other in their respective teams. They line up 8th and 9th, a 10th off of pole and 2.5 tenths shy. Liam Lawson with another brilliant qualifying session for Jaguar lines up 10th, 3.5 tenths off of pole position, ahead of the 2 Mercedes cars of Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton. Oscar Piastri lines up P13 for Aston Martin, ahead of Valtteri Bottas, who is P14. Daniel Ricciardo is the lead driver for Renault, starting in 15th place, with Sergio Perez a disappointing 16th, considering his teammate is just under half a second ahead of him and on the front row. Alex Albon starts 17th for the other Jaguar driver, and Pierre Gasly lines up in P18. And unfortunately for the BMW team, it's a back row start, with Ollie Behrman starting in P19 and Stoffel Van Dorn stone dead last, P20. Alright then guys, so we're on the grid here for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's third on the grid, and a relief for us actually, because our qualifying has not been that great as of late. But we've got 2 drivers in front of us, we've got 5 red lights that are on, and the 5 red lights are going to go off. So let's get the race underway. It's a decent-ish, well I say it's a decent start, for it's actually a horrible start from us here. Norris instantly getting in front of us, and then we've got Reese there on the ends and the inside trying to get through, but we go around the outside of Reese, get back past Lando Norris and back into 3rd place here as we make the run up towards turn 3 now. Norris having a look here down the inside in towards turn 3. He's going to go for the move here now, so we're going to have to go around the outside, cover this one off as best as we can, get the best possible exit as we possibly can, as well as the yellow flag in the background there. Someone's had a problem, but for us though, we're coming away unscathed here from the attack from Norris. Will he get us down towards turn 4? No, he won't. So order is now resumed. Sam leads the Austrian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel is in hot pursuit in 2nd. We're in 3rd now in the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got Lando Norris in 4th behind us. Reese is 5th ahead of Russell and Charles Leclerc. A little bit of a gap then that's forming further back there between the 2 Audi drivers. So something has gone wrong for them in their attack here, but you can already see that Sam and Vettel starting to pull away in the early phases of this race, but DRS is going to be enabled at the end of this lap. So at the next straight, not this one, DRS is going to be in full effect here. So this is where it's going to get very, very interesting, and where we need to play the patient game, because there's going to be a lot of swapping and changing as we get a little bit of a funny T-cam there. And now down the straight here we go then. Vettel in the slipstream of Sam, down towards turn 3 we go. It's going to be an overtake here for Sebastian Vettel around the outside. Can Sam defend this one? Going in towards the hairpin, Vettel goes around the outside. We're going to then go around the outside of Sam, who gets flustered a little bit by that overtake from Vettel, and we're up into 2nd place now in this Grand Prix. But for the home fans here in Austria, hoping that the Red Bull can do a decent job, Vettel's doing just that. And let's have a look at the race start though. So as you can see here, as the lights go out, you can see that I actually, to be honest, I can't remember my start in this one. So I had a horrible start. It was really, really poor. Norris is instantly in front of me, but straight away here, they don't cover the outside line, so it allows me to just break that a little bit later and take a quicker run in towards the first corner, and that definitely helped me out here. So this is on board with Reese, and this is what I mean here. So instantly lost the place to Lando Norris. I've actually lost the place to Reese here going into turn 1, but I can just go right round the outside and claim that the high ground in the attack there, and it just allows me to get into the slipstream and work my way through. This is on board with Daniel Ricciardo further back here, so he goes straight away to the inside here. One of the Jaguars has had an absolute flyer of a start going towards the first corner. So Ricciardo not quite getting away as he would have wanted, and straight away now he's under pressure here. He's got a drag race now to go into towards turn 3 with as Sergio Perez here, and for Daniel Ricciardo, you can see that he just has the legs going into the braking zone. End of lap 2 to start lap 3 here. DRS is now enabled for myself here as we go down towards turn 1 here. Having a look at Sebastian Vettel. He's going to cover the inside line. So that gives me the outside line to swoop right on through and take the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix for the first time in this Grand Prix. But that run through towards turn 1 has put Vettel under pressure. Here comes Sam now to make a move down towards turn 3, and he makes that one stick. Now Norris here is going to make a move down the inside of Vettel. A little bit of contact there between some of the drivers, but Lando Norris there gets away unscathed and crucially stays in position. But here comes Reese now for a run here down towards turn 4. Can Reese make this move stick? He's been boxed in though by Vettel, so he's going to have to try and go around the outside here. Norris will give him the space here. Down towards turn 5 now and 6 here. Into the middle sector they go. Reese has got the inside line. Norris will keep the outside line going though for himself. This is a lovely scrap now between these two drivers as they're giving it everything now to go for the overtakes here. And they're still going for it side by side. Down towards the last 2 corners they go. And who's going to come out on top? Lando Norris makes Reese yield going into the last corner. And crucially, that yield from Reese, has put him under pressure from George Russell. Russell will cover it going in towards the first corner, but crucially, as we go through towards turn 1, the gap between myself and Sam has actually shrunk now, and as you can see, the DRS is open for the Ferrari driver who wants the lead back in this Austrian Grand Prix. Will try and cover him off, but he goes to the inside line, and Sam, who's going to try and retake the lead of the race, will try and hold it, but Sam leaves us out to dry on the outside there. But we've got DRS here on the next straight to come back at the Ferrari and down towards turn 4. Can we make the move stick on the Ferrari? Yes, we can, and we'll get the inside line into turn 4 because I actually covered the middle of the track there to get back in front. But straight away now, we're in a little bit of a fight here, and crucially, we're starting to break away into a 3-way fight for the race win here because Norris is not catching the three of us. So there's a little bit of a train break in Vettel meanwhile. He's looking to try and find a way past Sam here as we make our way up the hill now towards turn 3. There's a big train behind, so if these two keep fighting, they might just allow me to pull away and for these two to get dragged back into the train. More contact there between Vettel and Sam going down in towards turn 4. Crucially though, Sam's got DRS here down towards turn 4, so does Vettel here, so that defense that Sam's got is going to work in his favor. But there's a fight further back here because Russell is actually making a move here on Lando Norris now. So George Russell has managed to find a way past Reese. He's now trying to find his way past Norris, but Norris is going to go on the outside here in towards turn 5, but George Russell has the high ground, takes the position, and job done for him. Lap 6 of the Grand Prix, Sam may have a look here in towards turn 1. He tries to, going into the first corner, but we cover that one off here. And now on the run, down towards turn 3. We've got the Ferrari in this, he's right behind us here. We're going to move over to the outside of the track, force Sam to try and come into our slipstream, but it's to no effect. Unfortunately, Sam's actually going to go right round down the inside of us here. We're trying to defend this one, round the outside. We've got a decent run off the exit here, and that's actually got DRS as well. So this is going to be key now, going down in towards turn 4. Sam's actually using a lot of his battery here. Vettel's trying to find a way through, but will outbrake Sam going in towards turn 4, and that's the position back in front of him, and we stay in the lead of this race. But at the moment, we're under a lot of pressure here because Vettel is also desperate to try and find his way ahead of the two of us now. So we really need to make sure that we're concentrating hard as we go up towards turn 1. Sam, will he go for the move? Tries it, not going to work on that occasion. That's going to put him under pressure from Vettel up towards turn 3. Sam will have the DRS, but Vettel will use a lot of his battery to try and make this one stick here. Here comes Sebastian Vettel, the famous old line. Down towards turn 3 we go. Will Vettel stay in front of Sam, or will he have to settle behind him? No, Vettel this time around does take it around the outside, does get past Sam, and he's into second place in this race, but Sam's going to come back at him again in towards turn 4, so one of these drivers needs to yield, and I don't think either of them really want to, and they're still going for it here. Vettel, though, just looks like he's got the better run, but Sam now, going in towards turn 5, has the inside line. Vettel's got the outside line, but Vettel yields the position ahead of Sam, and Sam stays in second place in this Grand Prix. Great fighting between the pair of them. On to lap 7 to start lap 8, though, at this Grand Prix. Reese has now found his way past Lando Norris while we were watching the fight up front, and now Reese is trying to make a move here on George Russell. He doesn't make it stick in towards turn 1, but it's okay because the DRS will be enabled again for him to go for it down towards turn 3. There's a big gaggle of cars now, all fighting for position here as they make their way towards turn 3. Reese now goes around the outside here of George Russell. We've seen some luck for these drivers going around the outside, and for Reese, there is no difference here. He gets in front of Russell. Norris now is trying to go for it. George does have DRS to try and help defend this position, but Lando tries to make this move then. Down in towards turn 4 they go. Can Russell stay in front of Lando Norris? It looks like he's just got enough there to stay ahead. He'll have to cover the inside though, because Norris will be there, and that's exactly what Russell does. Clever play from George there. On to lap 9 of the Grand Prix now with ourselves here, and the back end stepping out there heavily on the exit of that corner, taking a bit too much curb for my liking, going through towards turn 1. That's going to give Sam now, who had DRS anyway, a clear run at us up towards turn 3. So we'll brake late to try and make this defensive manoeuvre stick, and we just about hold him off. A little bit of contact there between myself and Sam, but crucially, we're the ones with DRS here going down towards turn 4, but Sam definitely using a lot more battery here, because he's actually beating me in a drag race down towards turn 4, but luckily we are able to outbrake him and stay in front of him. We're doing a lot of defending in this Grand Prix. There's a yellow flag further back there. Looks like Norris has had a bit of an issue because he's just dropped off from those cars. So I don't know if he's actually out of this race or if he's still in it. I am not too sure on that one. But back on board with ourselves here now. We've got an issue here because Sam's coming at us, and in towards turn 1 we go. Sorry, turn 3. Sam takes the position back again. He leads the Austrian Grand Prix. A bit more contact there, a bit more bumping going on all around the track here. And as we make our way down the straight here, I think Lando Norris has actually retired from the Grand Prix in the Ferrari. In fact, there's a yellow flag down there. I don't know how long I keep the footage rolling for. I'm pretty sure Lando Norris has retired from the Austrian Grand Prix, because Reese and the McLaren are there. Yeah, he is. He's just on the side there. That was very quick to grab, but Lando Norris did retire. I remember something happened to Norris in this race, but yeah, he's out of the Grand Prix, so that's bad news for Ferrari. They've only got one man left in this Grand Prix, and that's the man that is currently in the lead, but that's going to disappear as we go down in towards turn 3. Or will it disappear down towards turn 3? We tried to outbrake the Ferrari. We've gone way too deep on the brakes there. Vettel's got past Sam. We've also lost out to Sebastian Vettel, and Vettel has just said thank you very much. I'll have both those places going in towards turn 3, but one lap later here, that lead that Vettel had is going to disappear because Sam now will go around the outside in towards turn 3, retake the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. As for us, we're right on the back of Vettel here, but he's going to get DRS down towards turn 4, and I actually got a horrible exit off of turn 3, so I'm not actually able to get a run on Vettel here, who's having a look here at Sam in towards turn 1 on lap 14. But now as we make our way down towards turn 3, this is when we're going to see some more fighting. So as you can see then, we've got the ERS deployed all the way down this straight. That's going to make things tricky for Vettel. Vettel's going to go for it though. This is going to be a 3-wide moment, and Sam there makes a bit of contact with Vettel as he tries to cover him off. That gives us the freedom to go around the outside, overtaking Vettel, retaking the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Sam's got DRS here. Vettel doesn't down towards turn 4, but the straight is too short for Sam to make any form of defensive maneuver there. But it's really quite difficult now for us lot to not make contact with each other, because we're racing really hard in this Austrian Grand Prix, and it's definitely now becoming a 3-way fight for the win this time around. Of course, we've got Russell and also I think Reese. They're in the background, but they're about 5-6 seconds behind us now. We're starting to pull away from them as our battling is actually not costing us as much time as what theirs is doing. So as we go around the last corner here and onto the start finish straight to start lap 15 of the Grand Prix, this is on board here with Vettel, the driver's cam now, as he breezes past us going in towards turn 1. Vettel takes the lead back again, but crucially, he's done that in a position that just allows me to come back at him now. Down towards turn 3 we go. Here we go with the DRS here, going towards the outside line. Vettel's going to make sure that we take the outside line, but we brake and just cover the middle of the track there. It's not a good exit though for us actually, but crucially, Vettel's exit is even worse, and Sam's is better, and he's got past him as well now. Down towards turn 4. Sam is actually going to try and go for it here. Down the inside into 4. We won't let that one happen though. We'll brake later than the Ferrari and make sure that we stay in front of him. There's Reese and Russell in the background. Charles Leclerc is trying to catch them as he's obviously lost some time in all of that as well. But Sam there definitely trying to find a way through going in towards turn 4. But we were able to defend the position and are starting to have to play a bit more of an aggressive defensive game here. Every time that I'm out braking a driver, as Sam here is actually trying to have a look here, down in towards turn 8. That's a difficult place to go for a move, and Sam doesn't make the move stick there. We hold him off in the second to last corner. He obviously deployed the battery there and just put us off actually. I didn't expect him to try and go for a move there, but he's done that as our pit window now opens, but the DRS is also open for the Ferraris and the Red Bull behind, so that's going to be a problem. But crucially, the exit and the entry and exit of turn 1, I gain a lot of time on the AIs here, so that does give me a little bit of breathing room, but not enough breathing room, because here comes Sam again now with the DRS here to try and go down the inside, but we'll cover that one off around the outside. But Sam, actually in fairness to him, gets a brilliant exit off that corner, and he's away and back in the lead of this race. Vettel behind is definitely trying to find a way through, but will be able to defend that position. On to lap 60 now of the Grand Prix. All three of us now are coming into the pits for our one and only stop of the Grand Prix, off these medium tyres and onto a fresh set of hard compound tyres to get us to the end of the Grand Prix, and that is the strategy. One car there staying out for an extra lap longer. That's probably Charles Leclerc in the Porsche, but we need a good stop from the Aston Martin pit crew. We get a good stop from the Aston Martin pit crew. We don't just get a good stop from the Aston Martin pit crew. As you can see behind us, we get a beautiful stop from the pit crew. It's a bad pit stop though for Ferrari, because Sam has just lost out to myself and also to Sebastian Vettel in the Austrian Grand Prix. So changes now happening not only on the track but also in the pit lane as well here, and that's definitely going to rally up Sam a bit here, because lap 19 of this Grand Prix, he's going to go at Vettel now down towards turn 1. We're still in front of this pack here, and they're really doing everything they can to close the gap on me, but Sam does retake second place now in this race, and the DRS now up towards turn 3 will give him an opportunity just to settle things down a little bit. Vettel there recharging his battery, lap 20 of this Grand Prix now, and Sam, after overtaking Vettel, has decided that that undercut that we did on him, or not really an undercut, but the pit stop overtake we did on him, is not something that he's pleased about, because now going in towards turn 3, he's just breezed past me. Now Vettel's trying to do the same thing, going in towards turn 3 with the DRS in his favour. Now on the exit though, we just about get a better exit than Vettel, tuck back in front of him and use the DRS down towards turn 4 to attack Sam. Can we get close enough? Not quite. We had a little look there, but unfortunately I just wasn't able to brake late enough going into the corner. I wouldn't have made it otherwise. So I backed out of it and left it for another occasion, because at the moment, all I'm doing is, that's not quite the greatest exit there, because all I'm doing at the moment is fighting really, really hard against Vettel and Sam in this Grand Prix. It's brilliant to do. I'm having so much fun here racing now as we go towards turn 3. We're going to go to the outside line, and around the outside we go on Sam here, but a little bit of contact there between myself and Sam. We do get a good exit, but crucially, both Vettel and Sam have also had brilliant exits here. And now as we make our way down towards turn 4, I can't cover both of them, so unfortunately, I'm going to try and cut underneath Sam, but I don't get it right, and Sam takes the lead back again. So while I may have overtaken him, I just didn't get the great exit out of 3, and that meant that I had to defend against either Vettel or Sam. I couldn't get them both into turn 4, and unfortunately, I just had to pick the Vettel to defend against in that occasion. But now up towards turn 3, we retake the position ahead of Sam, and now we're back in the lead of the Grand Prix. But again here, our exits off of turn 3 are causing us some problems here, and that's what I've noticed, as Sam now is going to come towards us down towards turn 4. He's going to have a look here going through, but he can't brake late enough to make the move stick. It's a tricky place to dive down deep on the brakes here, but as you can see, this just proves how hard all three of us are pushing here. Lap 23 of the Grand Prix. We've been on these tyres now for probably like 6-7 laps here. I've just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far on a 1:03.1, and Sam and Vettel are right behind me going in towards turn 3. Sam is actually going to go in front of me in a minute, but we also do the same thing as what we did in the previous stint. We've gone way too late on the brakes there to defend the position off of Sam, and we've just lost out to Sam. We just lost out to Vettel. That's the second time now we've made that mistake in this Grand Prix. We just need to tidy it up going into turn 3, because I can't afford to make that mistake too many times. But I get such a great run off the exit at the last corner. Now it's Sam's turn, look, to set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. We've just set the fastest final sector of the Grand Prix. All three of us are absolutely going for it in this Grand Prix. We get past Vettel. Now we can use the DRS here to close up to the back of Sam. I'm not going to get him in towards turn 3, and I couldn't get him into turn 4 either. But crucially, we are able now to just be back in attack range of the Ferrari. That's definitely got some decent pace, that Ferrari, but all three of us, to be honest, have got great pace around here. Vettel is actually looking to try and make a move here down in towards turn 3. I'm going to have to go for it on Sam. I'm also going to have to try and defend against Vettel. There's contact between myself and Vettel in towards turn 3, but Sebastian Vettel muscles his way through and back into second place in the Grand Prix. But we'll go to the outside line for turn 4. We'll brake as late as we possibly can, use the exit as our advantage, and we've just about got in front of Vettel, have we? Yes, we have. We're back in second place now in this Grand Prix, and we stay in front of him for the time being. Vettel there actually have tried to look for us in towards turn 1, but this time around now we've got a great run here on Sam down towards turn 3. We've got to get the braking right though this time around, and crucially, not only have we done that, but we actually got the overtake done way before. Oh no, actually I say that we did get the overtake done way before, but we still have an issue with the brakes in towards turn 3, because I've gone and ridden the curb down the exit, and that's literally it's given Sam a run back at us. We'll try and go around the outside in towards towards turn 4, but there's nothing to be done there. Oh, there's contact between myself and Vettel now, going in towards turn 4, and Sebastian now tries to go alongside us, down in towards turn 5. We'll try and make this one stick here. Will Vettel make this one stick? There's more contact, and Vettel's got off at the track, and he's into the gravel, in towards the middle sector. Sebastian Vettel has gone for it, and it's not gone well, going into that part of the lap here, but we need to have a look at that again and see who was at fault for that incident now. So as we go in towards turn 5 here, we going down the inside. Vettel actually increases his pace, and then there's contact, and Vettel's lost a bit of his front wing. We've actually come away from it unscathed, but Vettel's also gone off onto the gravel trap. But let's have a look on board with Vettel here and find out what's going on. So in towards turn 4, but I mean, firstly, he's actually gone and just driven into the side of us, but now, as we make our way down towards turn 5 here, we are initially alongside. Vettel then gets ahead, then he breaks out of it, and then we slide into him, and it's a bit of a weird one, this one. Let me know in the comments what you think about this incident. I'll slow it right down for you guys. So, Vettel at this point is now trying to carry more speed, but then the corner changes, and then I've got control of it. Vettel and myself then make contact. I've then been hit by him. I've obviously gone a little bit wide and into the gravel, and Vettel's also gone into the gravel there. So it's a weird one because Seb did initially have control of the corner, but then the understeer started to kick in and he was running out of road. So he backed off to then get me in front of him. And then I was all of a sudden in front, but Vettel didn't back out of it. He's got a damaged front wing end plate here. So now he's under pressure from Russell, who's seen that go into his favour. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think I was at fault for that incident with Vettel, or do you think Vettel was at fault for that incident, or was it just a straight racing incident? There's been obviously a lot of contact between myself, Sam, and Vettel throughout the course of this Grand Prix. And it seems to have just come to blows here. And unfortunately for Vettel, it's now put him in a situation where he's got a damaged front wing end plate, and Russell is all over him now. And we're going into this same corner as we've seen multiple times before, but Russell actually manages to get through it around the outside unscathed. But on to lap 28 of the Grand Prix, the fight now at the front of the field is no longer a three-way fight. It's now a two-way fight. And that is a huge retirement in the grand concept of the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll get to that in just a minute, because I don't think you'll know who that is, because there's not Gasly, because I don't have a names mod, but we get past Sam going in towards turn 3, and we're now back up into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. But Sam here will have DRS as they make their way down towards turn 4. He's going to use that now. He's got a lot more speed here. We'll try and brake later than the Ferrari. We do brake later, but Sam can swoop around the outside of turn 4. But now I go to that retirement, because here it is. It's the championship contender Reese, my cousin, in the Porsche that is retiring from the Austrian Grand Prix. He had closed the gap in the championship down to 14 points coming into this weekend. He's going to leave here with absolutely nothing, which now means on lap 29 of this Grand Prix, if we can win the Austrian Grand Prix, we're going to put a massive 25 points on myself and Reese in the championship. We could increase the lead to 39 points at the end of this race weekend if we can win this Grand Prix. This has now become even more critical than it already was. But if I'm going to win this Austrian Grand Prix, if I'm going to take maximum points away from Reese in this race, I've got to do something that I've been fighting with all race long, and that is beat Sam in the Ferrari. He, of course, left Audi to join Ferrari, and he's been rejuvenated ever since, picking up second in Monza. He was close to victory at the Spanish Grand Prix. We're now going head-to-head here in Austria, so sit back, relax, and let's get ready to fight for the win. Down towards turn 3 we go. Brilliant exit out of turn 1. Sam, a little bit flustered there, coming out of turn 1. DRS goes in our favour, up towards turn 3. Let's get the braking zone right for once in our lives. That's done. We hit the apex there of turn 3, and now on the exit, we're okay. Sam can't get, well, he will get DRS, but he can't get a run at us down in towards turn 4. Now on the exit of 1, this time around we get a decent run, but Sam is going to have the DRS to stretch his advantage up towards turn 3. Here he goes, takes the same line as I do, and eventually he makes the move stick. But now going in towards turn 3, we're going to get DRS going towards turn 4, but the exit that Sam gets is constantly fantastic. Look at the exit he's got there. He's pulled at least 6/10 on us just from the exit alone, but crucially, we can get him back again going on to the next lap here. DRS will be enabled enable for us now. Down the straight we go and up towards turn 3. This is the most famous of the overtaking spots. Sam is definitely using his battery though to try and defend the position, but into turn 3, job done on that occasion. We got the move into turn 3, but Sam will have the DRS down towards turn 4. He's got a great exit again. We'll try and use some of the battery. Will Sam go left or right? No, he's going to stay behind us and just charge up the battery and go again. We've got 29% ERS. I'm okay, 32 now because we've recharged going into that corner, but now as we make our way up towards turn 3 for another run here. Here comes Sam. He's going to try and go for it in towards turn 3. We're going to brake later to defend against Sam. And again, for the third time now in this Grand Prix, we've had to go off the track because we've outbroken ourselves. Going in towards turn 3, I saw Sam going for it down the inside, so I had to brake late there. But unfortunately, I just can't get the braking right going into that corner on these occasions. So unfortunately, it's yet another error that's put me now behind the Ferrari. But it's not all doom and gloom because like I said, like we've been doing all race long, we're fighting him to the very end here. Sam, will he cover the inside line? Yes, he does. And he just doesn't give me enough room there to go for it down the inside. It's all fair though in that defensive fight. So we're going to have to try again. DRS here on the exit of 3. Can we get him down towards turn 4? We're not going to be close enough though because that Ferrari is just tremendous on the exit. But crucially, we've got to 70% now of our ERS. So we've been using the ERS to recharge through these few laps. So now we're going to go for it here on Sam. Up towards turn 3. Job done on the Ferrari. And now we can set about making sure that we get this exit right, which we do. Lovely stuff through there. Little bit of a slide though on the back end though. That's not a great exit actually. The Ferrari's got a great exit as we make our way down towards turn 4. Sam will try and make this one stick. He's going to go for it. There's a little bit of a break there. Some debris just gone off the track there into the gravel, and that's our front wing end plate. So as we make our way down in towards the final portions of this Grand Prix, we're going to have to do it with a damaged front wing end plate. As Sam came across, I tried to brake later than him. I got my braking points wrong. It's completely on me, and we've lost our end plate now, and all of a sudden, the advantage swings right back into Sam's favour because he's pulling away now, going into the final few corners here of this Grand Prix. We've got one more lap to go and 3 DRS zones to try and win the Austrian Grand Prix. We're either going to get our win streak back on track here, or Sam is not only going to get his first win for Ferrari, but his first win of the season as well. It's been a wretched one for him. He's been so unlucky in so many races, but now up towards turn 4. Here we go. Let's see, turn 3. We're going to go for it down the inside on Sam. We're going to try and brake later than the Ferrari. We go a little bit wide. Sam is going to tuck underneath us though, get a better exit. We've got the DRS though to go back at him down towards turn 4. This is going to be nip and tuck now. Sam tries to go for the inside line and defend it. We'll go for the outside line and cover that one off, but Sam covers us down the inside. Now we've got the exit. Can we try and hold it around the outside? Sam covers that off. Now we'll try and go around the outside, but we can't go around the outside. We've not got the downforce to do it with the damage on the front wing end plate, and with just a few more corners now to go. For the first time since leaving Audi, he went and joined Ferrari. Sam, who really needed to get a rejuvenation in his career, but rounds one corner, rounds the final corner, Sam crosses the line. He wins in Austria. He takes the checkered flag. We tried our hardest, but unfortunately the damage to the front wing end plate at the end there just meant that I didn't have the downforce to try and get him around the outside. Fair play. What a race. What a fight myself and Sam have had there this weekend. And it's been a long time coming, not only for Sam and his race victory, but it's been a long time coming for me and Sam to have a proper fight. We've had a couple of battles this season, but nothing to the extent of that. We really went for it all race long. And I remember, I think it was back in season 3 of the F1 journey, which was a hell of a long time ago now. But we raced in Austria, I believe it was, and we went tooth and nail like this when I was driving for Mercedes and Sam was driving for McLaren. We really went for it in that race. I'm sure it was that one. And we've had plenty of battles throughout our journey together. And that was yet another one to add to the collection. And it shows that he's still got it in him in Formula 1. And so do I, to an extent, because I've had a really bad run of form. But Sam takes the checkered flag. Not only that, he also claims the fastest lap of the race as well with a 1:03.087. We cross the line to finish in second, 0.8 of a second behind Sam at the checkered flag. George Russell does manage to beat Sebastian Vettel to P3 and claim an unlikely podium, despite how things went, with Vettel unfortunately having to limp home in P4. Like I said during the incident as well. Let me know what you think of the crash between myself and Vettel. Going for it one final time, I personally believe, and it is more so that I'm biased because it's me. So that's why I want your thoughts and opinion on it as well, because things can change. If you genuinely believe that, I was at fault for the incident, then obviously it can be reviewed. As we went in towards turn 5, I was just fractionally ahead of Vettel. But then in fairness, Vettel then opened up the throttle a little bit more and carried more speed, but by doing so it meant that on his side he ran out of road, so he then had to back off, and that allowed me to retake the lead going into the corner. Obviously the contact was then made. I personally thought I was far enough in front that I wouldn't have made the contact, that I could basically, what I was trying to do was effectively close the whole corner off, shut the door, and basically Vettel and the AI would just back out of the corner and then lose a bit of time. It didn't happen, so obviously we made contact, and then obviously we both hit, or he went into the gravel a lot worse than I did, but yeah, let me know what you think about it, because obviously I want to hear your thoughts on the incident. Charles Leclerc finishes in P5 for Porsche. Unfortunately, a difficult weekend for Porsche with Reese's retirement. Carlos Sainz beats his teammate Verstappen to P6 in the Grand Prix. Verstappen finishing in P7. A lonely race for Audi. They weren't really in the mix with anybody this weekend, so bit of a disappointing one for them. But it's not a disappointing one for Liam Lawson in the Jaguar, picking up P8 and some more points for that team. Jaguar thought that they were going to have a good weekend this weekend. Of course, this track is definitely one that would suit them more because it's got a lot more straights in it, but there's still a lot of corners, especially in that middle sector, so credit where it's due to him. He's beaten Lewis Hamilton, who finishes in P9, and fair play to Sergio Perez. It's a good recovery drive from him to come back up the field to P10 after starting quite far down. Looking at the second half of the table now, and it's Alex Albon that just misses out on points for the second Jaguar car, so Jaguar really did have some pace going into this race, with Oscar Piastri finishing in P12 for Aston Martin. A difficult one for Kimi Antonelli, P13. He out-qualified Lewis Hamilton, but didn't make any progress, unlike his teammate. Valtteri Bottas finishes in 14th for the second McLaren car. While it was a back row start for the BMW drivers of Van Dorn and Behrman, they made some progress. Van Dorn firstly started last and finished in 15th, so not a bad result. Daniel Ricciardo finishes in P16 ahead of Ollie Behrman and then Pierre Gasly. Unfortunately, it's a big hit of DNFs though, with Rees and Lando Norris retiring from this Grand Prix. Obviously a crucial one for Rees because he was only 14 points behind in the championship going into this weekend, as now, as we're going to see in just a second, that's going to be a lot worse for him going into the next few races. As for Lando Norris, of course, he's been on a good run of form as well, with victory at Monza, which would have been a highlight. Again, he wasn't quite in the mix at all points in the Spanish Grand Prix, but we did see in the first stint he was definitely in the fight, so he's been finding some form. But this weekend, Sam has definitely been outperforming him, but that still didn't mean that he could have potentially got into the fight later on, and even got a decent top 5 result. So it's a tough one for Ferrari and for Norris to take. Looking at the Drivers' Championship now, and that DNF from Rees has opened the things up for us in the championship now. We're on 178 points, and that gap has now increased to 32 points over Rees going into the next round of the season, which is the Portuguese Grand Prix. It's a big gap now for us, and it means that if we DNF in the next race and Rees wins it, we're guaranteed to still lead the championship after that race. That's how key that DNF is. Of course, there's still plenty of races to go. This weekend is this weekend and this track in general is a track that I'm very comfortable at and I'm pretty quick at. But there could be some races now coming up where I'm just not as quick as the AIs. I've literally not raced around any circuit on F1 24, so I don't really know what the performance is going to be like. I don't practice, I don't try and simulate who's going to be fastest where. I just load up the game, load up the track, race it, and then that's me. So you never know what we're going to see next. George Russell is third in the championship, but he's closed that gap now between himself and Rees. He's on 128 points, so if my maths is correct, he is just 18 points behind Rees in the championship. So he could be getting there towards second in the championship. Both Ferraris of Lando Norris and Sam are now tied on 100 points in this season. They're both 78 points behind in the Drivers' Championship. It's a bit of a stretch to put Ferrari in contention for the Drivers' Championship, but there is still 5 races to go, I think. So they've got to make sure that they're 75 points behind going into, 100 points behind going into the next round after the Portuguese Grand Prix. So if they can do that, then they're still in contention. It's definitely starting to slowly slip away from drivers, but all it takes, like I said, is one DNF from me, and things go completely the opposite direction. Carlos Sainz is 6th in the championship for Audi. He is on 95 points for the team, ahead of Charles Leclerc, who is 7th in the championship on 94 points. There's definitely a very close gap there between Norris and Charles Leclerc, just 6 points separating those 4 drivers. Vettel stays 8th in the championship for Red Bull, but does go on to 80 points now. In fact, he doesn't stay 8th in the championship, I apologise. He's actually moved up to 8th. He's jumped in front of Verstappen, who's on 79 points. So those 2 drivers will be swapping around in the championship, I have no doubts. And Valtteri Bottas stays 10th in the championship for McLaren. He is on 63 points. We've already mentioned the next round is the Portuguese Grand Prix. Taking a look then at the Constructors' Championship and seeing how that has changed after this race. For the first time in quite a long time, we've actually gained some points on Porsche after this race weekend. The gap is now 34 points between ourselves in second and Porsche at the lead of the championship. Of course, there is still a long way to go, and there's plenty of points up for grabs, and Porsche are definitely always in with a shout. Audi are third in the championship on 196 points. They're 10 points now behind ourselves in the championship, but it's super close between ourselves, Audi, McLaren, and also Ferrari. Starting with Audi and McLaren, there's only a 5-point gap as McLaren are on 191 points, and from McLaren to Ferrari, there's only a 3-point gap as they're on 188 points. So any of these teams can jump anybody. It just depends on the weekend they have. Look at Ferrari when they got their 1-2, they jumped up a bunch of places. Then look at Audi when they got their 1-2, they jumped up 2 places, and now they're all closed up again. Red Bull have moved to 100 points now in the championship. They've broken the 3-digit mark going into the next round of the season. As for Mercedes, they go on to 75 points, so a couple of extra points in the bag for them, but crucially, they now drop 25 points behind Red Bull in the championship, so their fight to try and get 6th is looking a little bit more tricky. As for Renault, they might need to now start looking over their shoulders because they are on 23 points and still stay 8th in the championship, but Jaguar are on 14 points and are now just 9 points shy of Renault in the championship. There are a few races coming up, such as I can think of Brazil and even Las Vegas, that might just put Jaguar at the ascendancy come the end of the season. So that 8th in the championship is definitely one to watch, and BMW are still struggling at the moment to get any points on the board. But that is it for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's go into the post-race notebook now and see what the teams and drivers had to say after this Grand Prix. Taking a look at the post-race notebook after the Austrian Grand Prix, Sam gets his first win of the season for Ferrari here in Austria. This is not only Sam's first win in Ferrari colours, but it's also his first win of the season, and considering the year that Sam has had, it's definitely one that is a massive, massive weight off of his shoulders. Tom battles hard to finish in P2 despite the incident with Sebastian Vettel, and George Russell gets P3 for McLaren. Speaking of that incident between Tom and Vettel, Red Bull have decided to protest that incident after this Grand Prix. The F1 governing body opted not to take any action on this incident, and Red Bull feel aggrieved by this, and we should know by the next round of the Portuguese Grand Prix if anything else changes after that protest has gone through. Porsche are to hold talks after their recent run of DNFs. Charles Leclerc prior to this Grand Prix had DNF from the previous 2 rounds, and Reese this time around has DNF from the Austrian Grand Prix, putting a massive dent in his Drivers' Championship hopes with Porsche. Reese came into this race just 14 points behind Tom after catching him up thanks to 2 run races where Tom didn't score any points. Reese, though, going into this weekend, struggled and ended up DNFing, and now the points gap has gone up to 32. Not only is it 32 points in that championship, but it's also 32 points in the Constructors' Championship as well. There is definitely room for improvement for Porsche, and if they don't get it right, not only will they not win the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors' Championship between themselves and Aston Martin is only getting closer, and Audi and Ferrari have really picked up their pace in the second half of the season, so there's room to manoeuvre if they don't get their act together. Finally, Sam took a little bit of a dig at Max Verstappen after the Austrian Grand Prix. But when being asked about his race victory, Sam said that he thanked Ferrari for giving him an opportunity to race with them, and also thanked Audi for letting him go so that he could go ahead and win races once again. Now, why is this a dig at Max Verstappen? Well, after the Spanish Grand Prix, Max Verstappen thanked Ferrari for letting him go so that he could join a team that was capable of winning races. So with that being said, and that obviously being a little bit of a dig at Sam, because of course Sam left Audi not trusting them and Verstappen winning a race straight away, Sam got his own back on Verstappen here. But who's going to get their own back going into the Portuguese Grand Prix? There's obviously a lot of teams and a lot of drivers that are desperate to get a win next time around, with Aston Martin and Tom looking to try and increase his streak and get some more wins on the board. Porsche with Reese are going to definitely try and look to get back to the top after this DNF. Ferrari are right back in the mix, and Audi have also got a competitive car underneath them, and as we've seen in this Grand Prix, Red Bull in the hands of Sebastian Vettel could show up when the car is working. But that is it for this Austrian Grand Prix. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well, and I'll catch you guys for the next round of the Portuguese Grand Prix next time. Take care all.